Okay, part 2 of this whole scary health journey. So I think I left off with the fact that I went to the ground, my heart went crazy again. I did end up having another seizure, and that got me shipped to the ER. Got to the ER, and the doctor that I had in this ER, when I tell you he could not have possibly went more over and beyond for me than what he did. Yeah, the nurses were all great. You know, they came in, they did blood work, got an x-ray done, I had an EKG done, and then he said, I want to do a CT scan just to give us more information on what is going on. He said, I do not want you leaving here until we get you some answers. And music to my ears. So I did the CT. That was interesting if you've never had one. But came back, and he was like, he had all of the results at this point. He said, you know, your lungs look really good. He said, heart looks good. He said, there doesn't look to be anything concerning. You do have a lot of spots on your liver. I am going to refer you to a general surgeon, not specifically for the spots on my liver, but because I was having so many gastrointestinal issues, and he was like, you know, this could be progressed really far with how much pain you're in and all of the side effects and symptoms that you're having. Sooner we can get you in there, the better. I immediately called the next day, got in. So that takes us to October 28th. I went in for my surgeon appointment, and my heart was going ballistic. Now, the general surgeon was an icon, a legend, literally the best. And he broke this down and explained this to me so well. But he was explaining about, you know, gastritis. He was explaining about hernias. He was explaining about all of these things. But basically, he was like, with gastritis, your stomach lining swells. When that stomach lining swells, it can push against your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve affects your heart, it affects your brain, it affects your stomach. It's, you know, it's the longest cranial nerve in the human body. It affects a lot of things. So he was like, the anxiety, the tachycardia, you know, all of this can be stemming simply from the gastritis. He said, we need to do an EGD to get to the bottom of this. So he explained what an EGD was. If you don't know what that is, they basically take a scope with the camera and send her on down. Turns out I have chronic gastritis. So all of these appointments could have just been totally out the window if I could have just kept the last doctor visit / ER visit. Then I could have just went straight to the surgeon. This could have been handled in 2 things. But because, you know, we started at September 20th and my EGD wasn't until November 6th, so we didn't know until after, no, it was like a week after my surgery that I actually found out my diagnosis. So in all of this time, I was still eating normally. I was still drinking normally. I was still doing everything that I did before. I was just miserable. I didn't know that I had to change my entire lifestyle. All the foods that I ate, everything that I drank, so many things had to change. But what I do want to say is I have truly realized that mindset is everything. It is everything, because my anxiety was so terrible and so debilitating. I quit my job. I have never in my adult life not had a job, and I left my job. It was that bad. I'm still currently not working, but I have made so much progress. I'm feeling so much better. I'm still on a gastritis diet. I'm still, well, sometimes I slip up, but as far as eating, I am fully on a gastritis diet. It takes a long time to heal what has been broken, okay? But changing my mindset to stop looking at things in a negative light and kind of flipping them into a positive light. For instance, before, when my heart would start going crazy, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, like my heart's gonna explode, I'm gonna die. I don't know. Like, because I've never experienced that. But then I flipped it and I'm like, girl, it's giving you a round of applause. That's what it's doing. Or I like flipped it into, your body cares about you so much, it's just looking out for you. It feels like it's in danger. Tell it it's not. Like, let it know it's safe, it's fine, you're good. But what happened is every time I would go in public, I would channel that back to that first day at the hair salon. every single time, whether it was the grocery store, just a general store, whether it was my son's, sporting events or his award ceremonies. If I was in public, I channeled it back to that day where all of that went down. And after some self-reflecting and kind of deep thinking and just having like a moment of silence to myself, I realized I wasn't scared of going those places. I was scared of ruining those moments, because that is what happened when I went to the hair salon. I was supposed to have a great day with my friends afterward. We were supposed to go to a fruit farm and have the best time. I ruined that day for them. They would never say that, and I know they don't feel that. They're amazing. But to me, I told myself every day, you ruined this day for them. You ruined this day for yourself. So then afterward, every place that I went, I told myself, you're going to ruin this. Your body is going to ruin this time for you, for your family, for your friends, for, whatever. And one day a switch flipped, and I looked at my fiance and I said, I'm done living like this. I'm done feeling like this. I'm done being stuck in this mental mindset that is just eating me alive. So I completely switched the way I was thinking. And instead I walked into stores and thought, what if it doesn't happen? Like, what if this is the best day ever? What if everything goes perfect? Instead of, oh my gosh, what if I have a panic attack? What if I go to the ground again? What if I have a seizure? The what ifs, everything that you're feeding your brain, yeah, you're going to speak it into existence, or you are going to cause your body to go into such a panic that it is going to happen to you. So mindset has truly been everything in this. I'm so grateful to God. I feel so much better. If you would have asked me last year, I would have told you that I probably wouldn't make it to 2026. It was so bad prior to the diagnosis, of course. But now I'm just so grateful and thankful, and not only to the people that took care of me, but also to myself for pushing through it and not just staying stuck when I could have. Anyways, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, don't be silly like me and not have a family doctor. Go see a doctor and maybe suggest this as kind of a pathway to get you the testing that you need. It is so important to advocate for yourself. If I would have just taken that first doctor's word and not got this looked at, it could have been far worse. If you let gastritis go untreated, it can lead to things like ulcers. It can increase your risk of stomach cancer. There are so many things. If you have issues with your health, you need to get them taken care of. And there are doctors out there that truly love what they do and are passionate about making people feel better. So I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. Bye.